Hello, this is McCook's Mr. Bill. Give you a little demonstration here of things when it gets kind of boring around the candy truck. And I'll break out my metal match. Don't have any fluid in it, but I use it as a flint and striker, flint and steel striker if you will. And the idea is to get it to burn, and then I let the kids try it. The younger you teach a kid a skill, the better off they'll be and the better they'll learn it, and it'll stay with them. And flint and steel gives you a skill that everybody should know. I know the kids know computers up one side and down the other, but there's also some primitive skills out there I like to teach kids every chance I get. You bet. But you're here for a story. Always trying to do things to help the kids out in McCook. And 32 years of it, yeah. And one of the things I used to do is give Bibles, and Bibles are expensive, and plus it blurs out. The kids aren't going to read the whole Bible, and for them to be lucky enough to find the exact quotes in there that might give them some common sense is a little difficult. Let's face it, it's a little difficult. So what I did, and with the help of others, I found cards. And religious cards with information, lots of information on them, a few Bible scriptures, but more common sense than anything. Also, internet site that they can go to get help, and phone numbers too for those that are under stress. And we do our very best to try to protect and help them, and things like this do just that. And so I give out cards freely if a kid is under stress or considering going to the dark side, if you will. But here's the story on one of my cards that got thrown on the ground. And it goes like this. 2 years ago, I had a young lady show up over at the swimming pool. And I would guess her 16 to 18-year-old. It's hard to guess that age bracket. Okay. And so she was over there, newcomer to McCook. I didn't know her, which is unusual. And she stayed away from the truck, but she was just there. And some people are nervous of a candy truck at the beginning, and that's fine. Absolutely fine. Well, she didn't seem to really communicate with the other kids, though, but she was just there. For most of a week, she was just in the area. I'd glance at her once in a while. She never spoke to me or I to her. She wasn't close enough for that, but she was just there. So finally, at about the end of the week, I get out every day with my pickup stick, I call it, and I go pick up all the trash in the immediate area. It's law. I do it anyway, but it is a law in the state of Nebraska, $1,000 fine if you don't. So I'm picking up all my trash, and she walked up to me, and she said, "I'll go home with you for $50. And I said, "I don't think so." And she said it again. She said, "No, I'll go home with you for $50. And I said, "Come with me." And I walked her over to the candy truck. And I reached in and I got $10 out. And I was standing there and handed her $10. And she said, "I'm not going home with you for $10. And I said, "That isn't to go home with me. That's so that you can have a good meal and think about what you're thinking about doing. Or what you might have done in the past." And then I handed her a religious card. And I said, "It wouldn't hurt if you'd look that over a little bit too." And I said, "If you need a cell phone to call your folks or somebody that could help you get through whatever you're thinking about doing, I've got a cell phone. I'll loan you for a second to make a phone call." She said, "No, I don't need that." And she took my card. She threw it on the ground. She walked off with my $10 and she went to the end of the block. Okay. And, you know, not everybody accepts it, you know, common sense. And she got on the cell phone. She had her own cell phone. And pretty soon, it wasn't just a minute or two, a state patrol car pulled up next to her, and she got in the car and they drove off. In other words, I just had a sting run at me, which is fine, but it is kind of interesting they kept the $10. But be that as it may, these cards have helped a lot of kids over the last 32 years. Yeah, and yeah, once in a while, even others throw the card down and reject it. But that doesn't mean I don't keep trying, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try and help the young people all that you can. Rate this film.